Hello, welcome back. If you've been before, this is a new Sudoku that I've made. I made it quite a while ago actually, and I just haven't got around to posting it yet. It's fairly, I would guess a moderate level puzzle. It's a little bit tricky to get the start of it, but once you get the start of it, it's not too bad. I'll just go through the rules with you. The normal Sudoku rules apply. There's a German whisper line which passes through an 8 in every region except the middle one. So this German whisper line goes all the way around the board, and there has to be an 8 on it in every one of these regions. So in there, it has to pass through an 8. So there's an 8 on there somewhere on that German whisper line, except in this middle region. So there's no 8 on there. Numbers next to each other on the line must differ by at least 5, which is standard German whisper lines. If you have a 1, 2, 3, or 4 here, the next one will be a 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9. And then you'll have a 1, 2, 3, 4, or a 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9. A 1, you would have to have the next number at least 5 away, so it could go next to a 6, 7, 8, or 9. But if it was a 2, then the next one 5 away would be a 7. So a 2 can only go with a 7, 8, or 9. A 3 can only go with an 8 or 9. A 4 can only go with a 9. And going back the other way, the same sort of thing. A 9 can go with anything, a 1, 2, 3, or 4. An 8 can only go with a 1, 2, 3. A 7 can only go with a 1, 2, and a 6 can only go with a 1. Because that's the only thing that's 5 away from a 6, or at least 5 away. So going around this line, you'll tend to go big, low, big, low, big, low, or high, low, either side of 5, because you can't have a 5 on a German whisper line. The pink Renban lines are consecutive numbers in any order. So you could have this one here, could be 4, 5, 6, 7, but they could be any mixed up way around, but they just have to be a group of consecutive numbers. So this could be one, those 3 could be 1, 2, 3, can't get it right. Could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, in any order around, but as long as they're 3 numbers together. And then the only other rule is the black dot separates cells in the ratio 1 to 2, so that has to be 1, 2, 2, 4, 3, 6, 4, 8. Did I miss anything? I think that's all. Something like that there. Normal Sudoku rules apply otherwise, which means 1 to 9 in each of these large squares here, and a 1 to 9 in each row or column. So that's all the rules there are to it. If you'd like to have a go at it yourself, then click on the link in the description below. I don't know whether you'll find this moderate or hard or not. But the main reason I've got moderate written in there is to distinguish it for myself, because I made a harder version of this. So I'll post that at some stage, the harder one. It's a lot more interesting actually, and quite a difficult challenge, the harder one. So I'll do it. I thought we'd start with this one and do the harder one at a later date. So, alright, I shall start doing the puzzle now. So, starting with 8s, we've got to have an 8 on this line. So if we look at the spots where there's only 2 things, there has to be an 8 there, there has to be an 8 there. There's 3 things there, but there's got to be an 8 there. Because there's an 8 there, you have to have one there and there. Because there's a 1 there, that can't be an 8. And that can't be an 8, so there's got to be 1 there. And there's a few too many options to bother putting them on there. I can't really eliminate any of those. I mean, if it was there, it can't be there, but it could be there, and then it could be on any of those. So that's about all I can seriously eliminate for now. So the only way to tell which one of these is the correct 8 is to go around the loop, I think, and see which ones will work. So if we start with one of the ones that we know, it's either got to be, say, this one or this one or this one or this one. If we start with one of these and work our way around the loop and see what works. So let's say that one's that 8, and we'll put in a yellow one. So that's got to be a big one. So if we go small, big, small, big, small, big, that would have to be the yellow one. Small, big, small, big, small. Now that, hang on, sorry, small, big, that one would have to be The next one, that works okay with those three. Small, big, that one works. Small, big, that one works. Small, big, I don't know which ones these are. Small, big, that one has to be the yellow one. Small, big. So that works with those ones. Let's try it with this one. Make that a blue one. Small, big, that would have to be, actually it could be either of those. Big, big. We don't know which one of those it is. We'll keep going. Small, big. It would have to be that one in that row, which means then it had to be that one there. So it was big, small, that would have to be the big one. Small, big, that would have to be that one. Small, big, big. Have to be that one. And, look, that doesn't work because we can't have that one and that one the same. And that one has to be the big one. Hang on. Big, small, big. Hang on. Big, small, big. That one can't be it because it's got to be small. And then that one has to be big. So it could work with this one. Hang on. Big, small, big. Yeah, so it can't be that one. I'll get rid of that one. Oops, I'll get rid of that one. Small, big, but it could work with that one. Cool, and then, but that one doesn't work with this one. Small, big. So it doesn't matter which way we do that, the blue ones aren't going to work. So that tells us the yellow ones are the correct ones, doesn't it? So I'll get rid of all those blue ones. Delete them. And then we'll go and click on all the yellow ones. Get rid of that. Yellow. And they've got to be the correct answers. Not an 8 there now. So now we might be able to get some other ones from there. So big, small. Oh, it can't be there. It's got to be one of these. So and it has to be big, small, big. It has to be that one. Whoa, not all of them. Just the one. I'll get rid of that thing there. 8. There we go. Which ones haven't we got? We've got that one. This one over here. So it can't be any of those. It's got to be one of those. So big, small, big. It's got to be that one. And that's got everyone except the one in the middle. So the one in the middle can't be that. So it's got to be there. Because that one doesn't have to be on the green line. So I'll go. Dare I click on this thing again? I always muck it up when I do that. Get rid of the yellow things. Oh, there we go. I actually did it. So there are all the 8s. So it was a little bit tricky if you didn't think to do that. I don't know how else you could have got the 8s because they didn't really resolve any other way. So that was a bit of a trick to the start of it. Now we can put in some other things on the Renban lines now that we've got the 8s, or we could put some other 1, 2, 3s around the loop. Might do that actually. I'll click on this thing that, no, not that one, and get all the ones next to the 8s. And they're going to have to be 1, 2, or 3 because you can't have a 4 next to an 8. So they are 1, 2, or 3. Haha, I'm getting the hang of this little one down here. I don't use it very often. Now what can we have? So I'll go and do the other ones. There's some other ones here that are like that one and that one. They're not 8, but they're going to be big because it's got to go big, small, big. So that one has to be 6, 7, or 9. Now this one can't be a 6 because you'd have to have a 1 and a 1 next to a 6. So that's got to be a 7 and a 9. Same with this one. Has to be a 7 and a 9. Same with that one. Can't have a 1 and a 1 in the same row. Now that one could be a 6 because they're in different boxes and in different rows and columns. So you could have 6, 1, 1 possibly. And that one can't be a 6. That's got to be a 7, 9. That one could be a 6, 6, 7, 9. That one can't be a 6, that's just going to be 7, 9, and here we could have 1, 2, 3, or 4. And then that one can only be 7, 9. So that's done all the ones around the loop. So now we can do some of the Renban lines. So looking at this one, we can have 6, 7, 8, so that could be a 6. We could have 7, 8, 9. That could be a 9, or we could have 7, 8, 9. That could be a 7. Whoopsie. 6, 7, or 9. That can be. And this one here is the same thing. That can be 6, 7, or 9. Because they can be in any order. This one along here. Now we can have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But we could also have, yeah, because they're all in a row, but you could also have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Look over on the keypad here. You could have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 is 5 things in a row, but you know there's an 8 in it, but it could go 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. So that, I'll have to put them all in as a possibility. 4, 5, 6, 7, or 9 could go in there. Up on this one here, I don't think I'll worry about these ones. There's too many to put in there to tell at this stage. That one looks like it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but not necessarily. It could just, like if that's a 3 and that's a 4, then you could have 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, you can't have 7, 8 obviously because of those ones, but it could, maybe it could be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It may not necessarily be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'll leave those for now. But this one up here is a good one. 1, 2, 3. We've already got a 1, 2, 3 in there, so that can't be a 1, 2, 3. So the only way we can get 3 numbers in a row there is if that's a 4. That gives us a number. And then to have 2, 3, 4 on there, that can't be a 1. That can't be a 1, and that gives us, that one has to be a 1. Oh, got a number, or a number other than 8 finally. Now that actually, that number there, if that goes from, that has to either go all the way from 2 to 8, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and we've got 2 numbers, like a 1 and a 9 left at the end. You can't have a 3 there though, because you'd only have 6 numbers in a row if that was a 3, so that can only be a 2. So if that's a 2, we can have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 there, and we have to, the 1 can't be part of the row either then if that's not the 2, so that means the 1 has to go there. And then, oops, get rid of the 1, not add the 1, get rid of that one. And then, so between there and there, that has to be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 along there in any order. Get rid of that one. What else can we do now? Put these ones in here. They have to be 4, 5, 6, 7, or 9. Can't have a 4 in there now. Can't actually have a 5, 6 there because of that German whisper loop. Should I get rid of those? That could still be a 7 or a 9. That one now can't be a 7 because 7 only goes with a 2, not a 3, because 3 is only 4 away from 7. And one of those would have to be a 3, so that means that's a 9, and that's a 7. And that gets rid of the 7, 9, and that gets rid of that 7. And that one's a 9, that one's a 7. That's not a 9. 5, 6 pair here now means that one's a 4. So that's not a 4. What else? This one here, if that's a 7, that can't be a 3. That's got to be a 1. No, that's not a 1. That's not a 7. That could be, it can't be a 3 next to a 7, can it? It's got to be a 2. Gets rid of these 2's. Now that can be a 7 because we've got a 2 or a 1, but that one's a 3. That's a 2. That's not a 3. 1, 2 pair, does that eliminate anything? Not at this point. No. 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, so that's got to be a 1, 2, 3, and there's a 1, 2 there, so that's a 3. Pardon me, so that's not a 3. This one here, we've got a 1, 2, 7, 8. If you take out the 1, 2 and the 7, 8, the only 4 in a row is 3, 4, 5, 6, which leaves a 9 for there. That makes that a 6, and that a 5, and that a 6. That's not a 6, and that's not a 6. So it all sort of comes out fairly nicely once you get the start going. And this little bit up here is a bit of a trick to the start too, recognising you had to put a 4 in there. What to do now? 3, 1, that could be, still could be anything. That one can be anything. I have to put the numbers in up here and see what we can get. We might be able to get something useful out of this one now. If that's not a 1 or a 2, and it's not a 3, it can only be a 4 or a 6. It can't be an 8. So that can only be a 2 or a 3. And there's a 3 there. It can't be a 3, so that's a 4-2 pair. And that's a 1. That's a 2. That's a 3. That's a 2. You could leave all these red things off and make yourself search for all these, but I tend to leave them on for the sake of the video. It makes it a lot easier to find them and makes it a lot quicker. And it also saves me from making silly mistakes, which I often do. This in this box here has to be a 3, 4, 5. 3, 4, 5. 3, 4, 5, 1, so that's got to be 1, 3, 4, 5. These three have to be 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9. 2, 7, 9. That one's not a 2. I've got a 1. Oh, there's a 1, 3 pair there. That one has to be a 2. So that's not a 2 either, and that gives us that one as a 2. That one can't be a 3 because of the 1, whoops, can't be a 3, sorry, that one, because of the 1, 3 pair. There's also a 7, 9 pair, so that one can't be a 7, 9, that's got to be a 6. So these two have to be 1s next to the 6. That can't be a 6, that one's now a 3. That one's a 3. Not a 1, not a 3. Not a 6, not a 6. 7, 9, 4, 5, that means that one's a 4, 5. Now if that's a 4, 5, you can't have a 4 and a 5 in there because one of them has to be a 4, 5. So that means that you can't have a 4 in there, doesn't it? Is that what that means? Or does it not necessarily mean that? No, because that could be a 5. Oh, yeah, because if that's the 5, you couldn't have a 4 in there. If that's the 4, you couldn't have a 4 in there. Because you'd need the 5 to make the consecutive numbers with the 4, yeah. So that means that's not a 4 in there. So that run, oops, that run there goes from 5 to 9. That's right, and that one there must be then a 4. Yep. Cool, so the 1 can't go there, the 1 has to go there, just from normal Sudoku. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, I see, there's one missing that we don't know, so that's got to be whatever that one is. So it's got to be a 5, 7 or 9, but don't know what. Is there any way to tell? I don't think I can tell at this stage. That 4 gives us, that one's a 5 though. And they're not 5s. And that's not a 5. 7, 9, 4, 6, 7, 9. That one's got to be a 5. There's a 7, 9 pair there. And that's got to be a 4, 6 pair. There's a 6 there. So that's a 4. That's a 6. Not a 6. Got rid of the 5 out of there. So I assume this one's got to be a 5 now. Yes, it does. And what else? What's the rest of this row got to be? The 1 can only go there because it can't go there. 3, 4, 5, 7, 9. That's got to be a 3, 4, 5. There's already a 3 there. So that's got to be a 4, 5, doesn't it? Yes, I think so. 4, 5. That one there now can't be a 7 next to a 2. Next to a 3, I mean, sorry. Between a 2 and a 3. That's got to be a 9. So that's a 7. That one's a 9. And that gives us this one down here is a 6. And gives us a 7, 9 pair. Now I still haven't done this one up here. What could be this? What could we have up here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9. That's not a 5, 9. That's a 5. That's not a 5. That's not a 5. 6, 7, 9. If that was a 9, the only thing you'd have on there was 7, 8, 9. We can't have an 8. So that's not a 9. So 6, 7 can only be 6, 7, 8 or 5, 6, 7. It can't be an 8, so that's got to be a 5. 6, 7 pair means that's the 9. What have we left in here then? A 1 or a 6 or a 7. What can we tell? Oh, there's a 7 down there to resolve. 2. Any others? No. So that can be a 1. So the 1 can't go there actually because there's a 1 there. That's got to be the 1. So that's a 6, 7, and there's a 6, 7. So that's the 7. That's the 6. That's the 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a 6. And now just fill in all these numbers here. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a 5, I think, in that column. Yep. Didn't give me a big red one, so it must be cool. And now 1, 2. Oh, what was it? Normal Sudoku. 1, 2. We've got to have a 3 somewhere. It has to go there. That's a 4. It gives us all these ones. 5 and 4. We've got to have 1, 2 back to here. 1, 2, 3. Got to have a 4. Can't go there. It's got to go there. 5, 6, 7 has to go here. There's a 7. So that's a 6. That's a 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. We need a 5, 6 in here. The 5 has to go there. And the 6 has to go there. And I've got an unresolved pair, but this one here can't be a 7 between a 3 and a 2. The 7 can't go next to a 3. So that's a 9, that's a 7, that's a 9, and that's a 7. Yay, congrats. Yeah, that wasn't too bad actually. I thought it was a lot harder than that from memory, but maybe it was just because of the hard start that I thought it was a bit harder. So yeah, I think after doing that, it's only a moderate puzzle, that one. I'll sometime rather do the hard one for you. It's actually, I've turned it into a fog of war puzzle, but it's a very, very difficult fog of war puzzle. And you actually have to work your way around and find the green German loop, which is quite difficult. So I'll go through that sometime when I get the time. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that one, and I'll see you next time.